But I do know that a lot of women of your time got involved with a man or marriage at a very young age and didn't really know. They was blindsided by how that man was about to treat them. They didn't know that they was finna get into that type of treatment.
You see, I always watched what everybody else was doing. Watching people was married. I was married. I watched how they treat their wives.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched people that remarry and get divorced and remarried 2 or 3 times. And I watched them tell me, oh, she's a real nice woman. Her husband mean too.
Mm-hmm.
And they divorced her. I married her. Well, how'd you spend your weekend on work? I can't rest that old girl of hers coming brought them little kids. He should be glad the woman, grandkids, and daughter come see it.
Mm-hmm.
He should plan something with her.
Mm-hmm.
If he don't, ask him excuse him and have him a man cave, a certain place in the house where you rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure he explain it to them, they'd understand. That when you're tired and you worked a lot of hours, you go in and say hello to them. And they need anything, let me know, and go back there and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
See, I work so much, I'm tired all the time, but I'm not being out there social. I just stay back in and sleep all the time and rest. Because you never know when you have to go back in.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to marry you. And if they marry you, they change.
Yep. And then, so y'all didn't spend a lot of time getting the opportunity to get to know or get familiar. Y'all did courting. What was the courting consisted
I
of?
went to school I went to the same school he did. He finished a year before I did. Asked me to marry him. Said, my friend going in the military and I'm going in the military, but I want you to marry me before I go.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, I'm finishing school. I'm not marrying you. And I'm a senior in high school. Well, I said, you want me to quit school? No, you can go to school and you can live with mother. I said, no, I'm not going to live with your mother while you're in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm not going to marry you so you can go in the army. And I'm not marrying you to get out of the army because I might want to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was promised to get my way paid through college.
Mm-hmm.
Kids didn't get out and go a lot unless they went to the movies and they did one car and everybody pile up and go together.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't go down in a little small town. They didn't come up there only to go to the school. So if he was going with her, he wouldn't say nothing to her in school. He'd walk up down the hall with me every chance to get. I seen other fellas trying to talk to me, but I wasn't interested in no heavy date and nothing like that.
Yeah.
We just all go to the movies together, something like that. We have little get-togethers and parties to raise money for our senior trip. We all pile and go together and stuff like that. Mama said she wasn't gonna let us date when we were young. Yeah.
So you really just became familiar with him just by being in school.
Yeah. I hung around my sister. My sister hung around with another friend. But most time when the other friend was around, I would stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
They said, we're going this place. That's why I'm staying at home. Because I didn't trust that other girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't care about being around because I didn't trust her. She would hang around you and then she'd talk about you behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't say nothing to people like that.
Right.
I wouldn't, my sister would jump on and talk about it, but I wouldn't. I would just walk on out and go find me somewhere else to go or something to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would never tell them that, get on it. I say, why you didn't speak to me or why you acting funny to me. I wouldn't say nothing. I just walk off and ignore it. Just let them be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go in the library, get over in the corner and table by myself and get some books out and read them. Study. two over there. Next thing I know, they be in the office. Trying to jump on some girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hang out with her. Mama said, why she always get, principal called me, why she always get called off? I said, she don't do nothing. Mama, it's the other girl that gets it started.
Mm-hmm.
Then once it gets started, they send a teacher that handle that stuff, go get them, bring me in the office. And when she see them coming, she always step aside, step off by herself, and leave my sister up there arguing with the other girl.
Mm.
And she'd holler, I ain't in it. I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Oh,
Yeah. And you know her name. You know her well, too.
ain't that something?
You never did see me hanging with her either.
Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Started it, but then disappeared.
Huh?
Started, but disappeared.
That's why I call you Lee. I know Liam had. So I was in high school.
Not mono, was it?
No. It was something your throat would be real sore and it would hurt all up in your face and your jaw.
Mm-hmm.
I think of it a while now, I tell you.
Okay.
But I ain't never heard nobody having it in a long time. We used to have our little sickness when we were kids. Then they gave you shots and they claimed that you wouldn't have it.
Yeah, there was no more.
Water shot.
Mm-hmm.
Something they put out.
Right.
Yeah. And so the kids would always, jaw would swell up. They'd have a sore throat and a sore jaw, and it was real painful. You couldn't eat. It was hurting so bad. So, boy sitting there one day said, the singing boy said, Vera, she said, you know, said, when you went home sick the other day. Yeah. Said, you know what? And she's supposed to be our friend. She in the same grade with you. She's put out all those schools that she was having a miscarriage and left her home to leave.
Lied on you.
I was a virgin.
Mm.
I didn't mess with boys, but she did. All the time. So yeah, lied on me. They come back and told me. So anyway, said we all us boys voted. Who the prettiest girl in class wasn't in school.
Mm-hmm.
So we all voted that you were. That's why I never thought I was the prettiest girl. I always thought my eyes was too big. That's why I never let nobody take my pictures. They take my pictures. I said, I never want to take a picture no more.
Mm-hmm.
Just had to sneak and take my picture.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that something? So you left when you was in school to go home for something about your jaw, and this particular person lied and said,
I went home. Mama had to put something on my, give me something they give me for it.
and put that type of lie out on you.
They were jealous.
That's why you hung with your sisters and mostly by yourself.
Yeah. I'm mostly by myself. And then I said, I hung around my mom and my grandmama. I go visit them. And so, ain't that line, she couldn't talk because she had a stroke. I used to feel sorry for us. The kids was young. So.
From what you just said about being a virgin, so therefore, I'm getting that a lot of women then left their homes in that type of way. And that was one of the tragedies.
They wouldn't let the boy come around over there. They said that's why a shotgun way to come around. If an older boy come out there and make that little girl pregnant, they make him marry a shotgun on him.
So you got married. So that was the only man that you had been with at that time. So that's why some women would probably feel like they were trapped and felt like that was, they done left their home and got took from their mom, and now they with the men, and they're supposed to be responsible for them and taking care of them, but they like in the prison.
And I didn't know he was about 20 years old and I was 17. I thought he was about my age. And then too, they would let us, socialize with boys, but, we just like you ride to the movie together, to the ball games on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And boys would claim girlfriends and they would walk up down the hall with them. That was it.
That was it.
Mm-hmm. But this other woman, I never did see her down around. I never did see her walking down the hall with him. I hadn't had nothing to do with her. And one of my old friends moved to town years ago. She said, I remember when I used to go to school there before I married and moved away. And we used to go to school, so I remember y'all used to walk up down the hall every day. When I come out down the hall, he'd walk up down the hall with me. But I didn't know what kind of attitude he had because I didn't know him that well. Just seen him when he was in school, you know. And then the boy liked the girl, he'd walk up down the hall and say it was the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's all the courting you would do.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a lot of like asking questions and trying to get familiar with their personality or how they were in their homes and raised.
Then he come beg me to marry him.
So many of them were still doing that arranged stuff, arrangements and getting together. So that's why a lot of trauma was in place for a lot of women back then. You know, you coming straight out the home from your parents, still young, pure, and then this man that's supposed to take care of you and handle you properly
But you like a
turns.
They marry you for you to cook and clean and have babies.
That's it.
Yeah. They marry you so they wouldn't have to take care of you. They got
Hold on. So you saying when they started doing the stuff like with welfare, the state would come in y'all houses and want to?
yeah, come in and check, see what you spending your money for. You buy anything new? What? Sound something different? Where'd you buy this from?
Yeah.
How much it cost?
They would come in the homes.
You sit in there, you know, you come door, you tell them come in, they come in.
So y'all would have to do applications for it, and they would come to the house, and you said they would pick their favorites.
Mm-hmm. Some girls go and they just turn them down. And some girls stayed on welfare and their county never did work.
Yeah.
Didn't want to work. They stayed on it. But somebody that work hard and try to work over and get on it. Let them on. So we have a job every place.
But they wanted to know who lived in the home and.
Yeah, won't know anybody else living there, if any man living there. Make sure you ain't have no man living there.
And they came there to see.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it used to be set up like that.
Yeah, see if you got any man clothes in there.
They went as far as to see what kind of clothes.
Yeah, you were still under slavery where I looked at it. They set the slave free, but it wasn't free. No. When they told you to go free, where you going out there in the woods? You know, that said one can stay. That's why some of them stay.
Mm.
Oh, look. If they slept out there on a dirt floor in the barn, they had a roof over their head. A little food to eat.
Yeah.
Exactly what they didn't want. Yeah.
A lot of man-made laws and rules and things. Somebody was talking about how marriage, with marriage, divorce was a sin. Mm-hmm. How do you view that? You think divorce is a sin, Granny?
My grandmama said, Clay was mean to me. She had one arm and one leg was short. She walked crippled. And she was that way since she's 13-year-old. She married him. She said he was so mean to me. He'd come home to me, leave and come back home and be mean to me, and I hadn't done nothing. She said, I decided when I was a little girl, and I like to dad one time, so I could see angels from my bed. She said, I had such a hard life. I wish I had a dad then. And went on to heaven. But she said, I made sure I'm not going to sin. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to cuss. She said, because when I die, I want to go to heaven. And she said, I'm not going to get no divorce. She said, because they say death do you both apart. Until death do you
apart.
Yeah. And she said, the Bible said it's a sin to get a divorce. Yeah.
And what you think about that?
Well, she taught me that because I was always with my grandma. I mean, she'd go to church and my little hand carry me. And she had me go spend the night with her. I'd spend the night with her. And I was always trying to help her because she had one arm.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I hung around all the time. And she said it's a sin to get divorced. You're not supposed to marry with one time. You have one man.
Mm.
Yeah. And so, and she told me, said, hit you on one cheek, you're supposed to turn the other, you're not supposed to fight them back.
Mm.
I said, now, man, I don't think I can do that for somebody hit me on one cheek. I don't think I can stand there, turn around and hit me on the other cheek.
But you didn't think about, you said throw that stuff out the window when you knew that the marriage you was in just wasn't for you. So you just like forget that sin
I
stuff.
didn't know then that they rewrote the Bible. They're supposed to went over there in Egypt somewhere and saw the religious writings on the wall, wrote them down, come and go there and rewrote the King James version. So a lot of people just now find it out. So, and some of them was actually mad about it. The preachers, because they was preaching out of it. And so I said, and so I went on, the company asked me to marry. I said, no. Mom said, and all them old aunts and man, they had a round table discussion every day, milling. How they doing them babies? They come down and the babies clean. I was clean. Mama's house was clean. I done went to work, come back, and I would work 10 hours a day and a half a day on Saturdays, and I would come home. I said, if the babies need diapers and milk and cesses and stuff like that, I would make sure I buy all that.
So even though your husband was trying to stop you from working, you knew that even when you did do work and you got that, earned that money, you made a difference not only in your life, but your mom's and your parents' life.
I got my job. He come up there that morning before he went to work. Walked in there in front of my mama. And she never said a harm word to him. She always was nice. And walked in there, pointed a finger in my face, said, you go to work this evening, you getting out. And I mean it. Said, you better stay home and save them kids, you better not go to work.
Why was it such an issue for you to go to work?
They control me, I guess. It's the only thing I could figure out. I didn't go nowhere. 2 babies, I couldn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
I would get up early in the morning, wash diapers. I had 3 big long lines of diapers, and they didn't have disposable diapers. I had to wash them.
Yeah.
So I had to have a 5-gallon can with detergent and pine salt and stuff like that in it. And I rinsed my diapers out. When babies used them, I rinse them out and put them in there and soak them. Then the next morning, I had to get up and wash them out and rinse them again and hang them on the line before I go to work. So I was up real early. So one day I was out there hanging on the line, and the girl had a baby down the street from me. And she saw me out there, and I was out there crying. She said, Griff, what's wrong with you? I said, every time I go to sleep, one baby wake me up crying. Every time I go to sleep, the other baby wake me up crying. I said, I ain't had no sleep. I had to get up early on and wash these clothes. And I'm so tired, so sleepy. She said, Vera said, her oldest son was named Tony. She said, Vera said, they get their nights and days mixed up. She said, they'll probably never do it no more.
So what you're saying is when you had these babies, it wasn't no help getting up with you in the middle of the night. You had to do it by yourself. He didn't offer at all to get up with the babies in the middle of the night?
He told me he was going to marry me. He let me have my babies before we married me. Then he come back and marry me and said, let's go get married. And so I said no. So he kept talking me into it. Mama walking down the street. I said, Mama, I said, I had to work half a day. He said, I was looking for you at home. And she said, I was just walking up down the street. So I didn't want to go hungry, so I didn't know what to do. She said, I paid all the bills I could pay. And so I didn't have enough money to get some more groceries I need and enough money to pay the rest of the bills. So she said, I was trying to think what to do, how to pay them, so I couldn't think. So I didn't know what to do, so she said, I just walked them down one street to another. And that's how I found them. And I said, here, Mama, you take my whole check. I said, that's what I was looking for you for, to give it to you, because you takes care of me. I said, you take the whole check. I said, what I don't need, I buy what the babies need and what they don't need. I let you have the rest of the week. You had to have one then.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Who ordered the blood test? The people, the state?
A judge over at the courthouse. You had to go get the papers and then go to the doctor and fill them out and bring back to him. So he finally talked me into going a second time. I said, okay. Because I let it's so many days run out, you have to take it over.
Yeah.
So I took the blood test over. I didn't like the way things looked. I was doing all right by myself. I was happy. Everybody in the house was happy. So he come the second time. I come for us to go get married. I said, I'm not going. So he talked me into again, so I had the blood test the third time. He said, we gotta go get, when you come back to that third time, he said, if we don't get it, if we run out this time, they're not gonna let us sell us no license. So I went up there and like one day running out and the judge told me,
What?
you just did get here for the limit run on you can get married. Said, if it had run out this time, you would have got another business. I was gonna refuse to sell your license. I wish so many times the judge hadn't sold me that license.
So y'all couldn't get marriage license back then unless it was a blood test
That's right.
for the kids. Okay,
I
learn
was
something
okay
new.
to make sure that you didn't have something up when people marry. For some reason they want you blood work on you and the man too.
Oh, it wasn't blood test for kids. It was just they made y'all do blood work on y'all,
Yeah.
on the individuals before they married. I did not know that. Just learned that y'all used to have get blood tests before y'all got married.
I couldn't have no twins. Have one to him and somebody else. Wasn't nobody else with him.
Right. But I misunderstood. So y'all, the individual people before marriage back then, had to get a blood test. Wow. Okay. Learn something new.
We're gonna get married. I'm gonna get a job, and I'm gonna find us a house, and help you pay for a house and help take care of the kids. Okay.
Hey, Lily, come here.
So we got married. He come back once a week. Then sometime he would say, well, I'm gonna come and take you somewhere. We're going somewhere. I said, tell me what time he gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
And my sisters hung out with me all the time and said, we always gonna go. He said, I'll come pick y'all up. If he said 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10, 11, 12, he still didn't show up. So we decided he tried to be slick for some reason. So he would say, we said, what time you coming? I'll be at 7. Okay. Well, we had a friend in our family. He liked to ride around and just drank beer and go to places, drank beer and party. So he had an old car. And for gas money, we said, do you want to go down these places? They're going to have this. And we're supposed to have a way that they don't show up. Could you take us? Yeah, I'll take y'all. And the girl behind me, the one that had that baby, told me that don't worry about the baby's crying all the time.
Yeah.
She get ready to go too. And so we wait 7:30. He didn't roll up. We rolled out. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
So we just figured, we said, he got somebody he's taking out. He tell us he gonna pick us up. He think we crazy. We gonna be sitting at home. He gonna be down there sitting up there laughing, out somewhere partying, laughing about it, and going back home and partying about us sitting up there dressed.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't think it was funny one damn bit.
That's right.
Yeah, it wasn't. Especially when nobody had no cars, you didn't have no way to get nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't driving and have no car.
While y'all waiting and missing out on life, waiting on a man to come. Y'all said, oh, fuck that shit.
You don't put that shit on
The
me.
time you moved in down there with him, he did what?
100% turnaround. You know, I'm working evening. My boys sitting there ready. They jump in the car and leave.
It was never no involving you.
No. And then when he was off, they'd be already there waiting. Sitting around all day, hanging around the house. Then y'all get ready to leave. Where you going? Oh, so-and-so, he hired me to take him somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it never was me. Yeah, then next thing you know, the rumors started getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Still never was me. But then he got so, he would leave me at the house and leave walking.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And I got suspicious then. And so, and then little rumors getting out. So I just ignored it. So I said, well, I'm going to tell my dad to come get me.
Okay.
So I asked him to take me where he wouldn't take me nowhere. Then he stayed all weekend and mama fussing at him.
The whole weekend.
Yeah, what you doing coming in this late, staying out all weekend? And get up Sunday morning, you better get up, be ready to go to church.
Mm-hmm.
Here you come in, barely time to go, get ready to go to church. I've been out on Saturday night. Mother said, let's get up and put our clothes and get ready to take the baby to church. He had one twin, I had an old deacon down there hugging all on you. Oh, y'all such a sweet little couple. You know, old folks would laugh, said the old deacon just wanted to hug on them young girls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all so sweet with them babies come to church every one of them babies, you granny, that old chest stuck out.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, you have your chest stuck out for you. You can't see that no damn baby.
Like he been doing good all week.
Yeah, he want me to make a showing like and give him the credit. Then I noticed some little girls be walking across the door, down the street, and I be sitting on the porch rocking the baby and swing. Just before they get to the house, they fall out laughing all the street, and I got suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Then she lived over down the hill, and I'd be out on the porch watching the baby die. I noticed she would go across the hill, and I knew where this other place where he hung out at. She was going that direction. I said, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they laughing at you.
Yeah, and then he would get up and leave and walk out. And after he left, I said, Mama and Papa, y'all keep the baby from the female. No, he ain't got no business going. He stay and see after the baby said. So he kept on doing this. I got a damn house one day.
So it was like you was trapped in his parents' home.
Yeah. Oh, behind the house was a big wooded area.
Yeah.
Like down through there.
Yeah.
And I see which way people go away across
Yeah.
the hill in the daytime. They had a pass through there. But I never been over there through it.
Yeah.
I went in. I didn't pay no attention. She told me don't leave him. I left both the babies in the bed asleep.
She says, what did family do back then in the days when they had a family member touching on children in a way that they shouldn't?
My mama taught us to stay away from men and older boys. And if they did touch us, come tell her. And sometimes we didn't tell her because it was close kin. We didn't want to hurt her feelings. But all we had to do is when they didn't act right around us, said, we're going to tell mama. They didn't come around trying no more.
Do you know of anybody else that experienced that and what was done about it?
I heard of it, and I heard that the girl never would tell her mother, and that her daddy told she did, she'd kill her. So they sometimes they scare kids into not telling. Yeah. And so I told Mama, I said, Mama, can't you teach your kids to not let other people that shouldn't touch them, and they'll tell you, you don't have to worry about it because they'll tell you if they try. Mother said, no, all the time they won't tell you. I said, why? She said, because they'll threaten them and make them scared to tell you. And I've heard her tell of some in families where they threatened to tell me, and they were so little, they didn't tell they got old or grown. See, if you tell your mom, I'm going to kill you and kill her too.
I heard that some families didn't want to talk about it. They didn't do it because they felt ashamed, embarrassed about the family.
Yeah, some of them did that too.
So they pushed it under the rug.
Yeah.
Which meant that the child had to suffer through that.
Yeah. And some of them said, some told me, said they told their parents about some of them trying to touch them. So they told them, said, oh, stay away from them. Don't go around them no more, because they were so close in the family. They were ashamed for anybody to know it. Said, don't you girls go around and stay away from them. But you don't have to stay with them in the family. Like some family members, they think they got the authority that they come to your house, your parents gone, just walk in. You know, in the days, a lot of families stayed together because they had to. Yeah, us live so close, either stayed under the same roof. Yeah.
So that meant even the person that did hurt the child would still be in the home.
That's right.
You still had to live with them and see them.
And a lot of them, people didn't find out that they got grown, and they finally told it. And told why they were ashamed to tell it. They were afraid to tell it. They were threatened because they were ashamed to tell it. And so, like some of them said, I couldn't tell my daddy because we were close, that his own brother was trying to touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they told it later on in life, after they done got grown and moved on, and they come out and told people what happened to them.
Do you know how the law was for that, or was anybody getting arrested or anything?
I know some that went and reported it, and the man would look up and lie and say, "I've been going with her. She lying on me." And so they got up and embarrassed them, asked them how they touched me and all that, and some of them said the authorities see them something, laughed about it. They said that's when some of the other women said, "Well, I'm not going to report it," and they get up there and embarrass me and laugh about it. Yeah.
Because they saw what happened with the previous person.
Every time somebody go up there, see, they get up there and ask personal questions in front of everybody in there. And it's embarrassing.
Humiliating.
Yeah, and humiliate them. And then throw it out. We ain't got enough evidence. So they said, well, why they don't usually report it? Just get you up there and embarrass you.
And some of them, they made it like the woman done something.
They always laid it on the woman.
What did you do?
Yeah. And they always laid it on the woman. Because I guess where it started out, I guess that in some countries now I've heard of, if a young girl got pregnant, they didn't do anything to the man, but they were going to give her the death sentence.
What?
Yeah.
No. Thank you.
Now that is backwards. Yeah.
So that last part you just said, you said that so some, since they lived together a lot back then, family,
some of
them would move in just because they knew they had young girls.
Yeah.
They weren't really coming for the parents and whatnot.
Yeah, they did that. Well, then it was later on when they didn't have rent, they come rent from them. Make friends with the man.
Because they knew it was some point in time they would be by themselves with the kids.
Yeah. I know in this day and time, a man worked with another man, so he said, I'm coming to your house and visit you sometime. He said, no, you can't come to my house. So nobody come down and invite you. He said, I'm going to come out and see you and your family anytime. He said, you're going to get shot. And later on, he found out the man got arrested for something. So he said, good thing I told him not to come to my house. He said, I don't like no man to come to my house. There was a damn girl that could land him across the bed. He standing up there by the bed, right beside of her.
So you went ahead and left the babies and went on the path and found them, and the woman was laying across the bed, and there he would too.
And I come back home. So when he got on work that Saturday, he didn't explain it nothing. That's been going on the whole time down here. And so one day one of my buddies down on the porch said, you know, she done moved to Memphis. They say she's pregnant. You know how people with me be talking, guys, I ain't paying no attention. But they come in work, they sitting there, watching the ball game. I called her daddy.
Lily, come here.
I'm come back home, come get me. He said, okay. And my dad didn't have no car, but they had cabs then. So I still saw the cab we put up. I had all my stuff packed because I kept their stuff organized every day. I kept their clothes clean and folded up in a box, both in twins, so I know exactly where everything was. And I knew where my clothes, I didn't have no lot of clothes. But when I had it, I kept it nice and kept them hung up.
Yeah.
So I took all my clothes hung up and my little odds and ends and put them in the box. And his daddy said, your daddy out there in the cab come after you. I said, okay, thank you. I went out there and carried a baby. And come and got carried the other baby.
Yeah.
They still sitting there watching ball game 3. Nobody offered to help me, but I come in and got the big boxes, put them in the cab. Come and got my clothes, throw them all across my arm, put them in there. Got in there, cleared them left there. And they said, Mama and Papa down there crying because you done took them baby away. I said, I can't help it. I think one crying, not down there sitting there every Saturday night.
So you left from staying down there with them them just leaving you in them woods by yourself a lot, doing it all by yourself. You finally found a place to move into, and then your mama says,
let him, and he come up and moved in.
and your mama says, let him in.
He had to raise the boys because women can't raise boys.
But you was raising them by yourself when you was even living with him and his people.
Still did.
Lord.
That's why one day I got on work a day like today. I passed by home, went to the lawyer's office. The lawyer said, what you want divorce for? I said, women ain't leaving husbands now. So I started telling him, before I could get halfway through, he was writing real fast. He wrote that book. He said, when you want me to serve it on? I said, I'm going home. And I said, when I leave tomorrow, go to work, I ain't coming back. And I said, he'll get on work to be on day. Serve it tomorrow evening, get on work.
Yeah.
He never did see me, I ain't lived in the house with him since.
You stayed by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been going and higher ever since.
Made all kind of problems. I'm gonna quit running around. I'm gonna put every bit of my money in the house. I'm gonna help you, and I ain't gonna run around. I'm gonna settle down. So I ain't gonna do nothing wrong. So if something happen, we break up. It won't be nothing I did wrong, be because you done something wrong. He told me right there he was like being single. So I said, I'm gonna marry somebody else unless you marry me. I said, you better go and marry somebody else. And I told my sister, I said, he told me he'll hurt marry again. He didn't like being single. He said, don't know why I left and told my mama he was a good man. And my sister just got on the floor and rolled. Said he didn't hide nothing he did in everybody's face. I mean, he said he's a good man.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Did it in all my kinfolk's face.
Because it was all about having somebody to do what? To cook, to clean?
Yeah, slave.
That's why they was in a hurry to get married.
Yeah, and usually women had kids, didn't keep the house clean, but I did. Yeah, he slept on clean sheets every night.
Every night.
Yeah, and that bed smelled so fresh and clean.
Mm-hmm.
I kept all my clothes clean. Because it was just like a job. That's all I did. It was clean, and I cooked. And I cooked their food, and he come home, the food's on the table. Yeah, guess you been out running around. And I went over, I didn't say nothing to him. I went over and cried and told my grandmama. My grandmama said, when they doing something, you ain't doing nothing. They accuse you of doing it. She said, he's the one that's doing something. Sure enough, I found that lady, he did. He'd go up at my grandmama's house around some of my kinfolks doing stuff in her face, and she set them out and throw them out. Yeah. Tell them, get out here. I don't put up nothing like this. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
I didn't know who he was.
If you would have married again, and then you find out the man was pretending to be somebody else, what?
We didn't take us my wife man out of bed, so I ain't gonna never live no man no more. So I wouldn't take nothing off. Somebody tell me something, I never, I'm gonna promise I'm gonna do.
You didn't repeat who told it to you.
I didn't even tell something.
Yeah, so that's like when they say when somebody show you the real them, you better believe them.
Yeah.
And go ahead and nip that shit in the bud right then, huh?
If he say I'm sorry, I do it again, he say I'm sorry. He do it again at third time, don't you listen no damn sorry.
Because the sorry can be there, but if the patterns ain't in place to change,
that's right.
ain't nothing changed then.
I said that all my life. All I gotta do is go home and live so much until I'm sorry for that sometimes.
But nothing changes.
I said, stuff I told him to be ready. Last week I ain't never told him I didn't have 5 kids I would live. I can't see
know.
myself.
I'm just now finding out all of this.
In the house. I can tell them that I keep stealing all my money. It ain't fair. And I was one paying all of it on them. But I take care of myself. They like a water bill one time, you let them cut it off.
Damn.
Paid the rent for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot too, that big brick house over there. Yeah, I could have been buying a house. I think about it now. The money I paid on this house, if he did like he said he gonna help me, we done had the house paid for before I bought this one.
Right.
Any kind of nice house.
Right.
We could afford it, because we both had good jobs. But he took advantage of it. He went around flashing his billfold full of money.
But you was a good backbone woman then. That means you had the right mindset. He didn't.
No, he didn't. thought. I said, when my kids get grown, you're going to look up, you're going to be single one day. I said, I'm going to take care of my kids and make sure they get through school. Once they get through school, they go further up without me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, when all of them get finish school, get grown up where they can work and take care of themselves, you're going to come on one day and you're going to be single. He said, ha, ha, ha. And followed his old friend out the door, the one to come around there flirting.
Mm.
And I didn't say nothing when you went out there. I said to myself, you won't have the last leg. I just kept on working, kept paying bills, kept staying there.
That's right, girl. Proud of you.
So he come on one day, Mama said, I called Mama. He been out here looking for you. I said, me and I, they said, we didn't know you divorced. I said, what I won't tell somebody for, all y'all gonna do is tell me how to stay with him.
That's deep.
I said, I tried it. I said, for years I've been doing what everybody else told me to do. I said, I do what I'm gonna do. I said, my grandmama told me to sin. I said, I don't go nowhere but to work, church, and back home. And I said, I know God didn't make me.
Well, they were saying that divorce was a sin. You said you knew that God didn't make you to be that way or to get treated that way, right?
He didn't mean for me to be treated that way. One woman told one time, they was talking about me, said, y'all be ashamed, said, that girl don't do nothing but work hard, come on and see after her kids, and go to work, come on and go to church, and that's all she do. I said, yeah, that's finna quit. And my sister and them, they told me what a good time they had at a nice clubs. It was so decent. And there wasn't no trouble there, and everybody acted so nice at the club. I said, when y'all going back? They said, we ain't got no way. I said, you got a way now.
Yes, Granny. Live, baby.
And he said, coming in time, getting on work on Friday, throwing his clothes, taking a bath, putting on cologne, dressing shoes and dress shirts and things. I said, what are you doing? I'm just gonna ride around with the boys. I said, where am I going? You gotta stay and see the kids. I said, your kids too?
Yep.
He said, you better be when I get back. I said, we'll see.
Yeah.
I already had my outfit hanging up in the closet. I already had my bath. I already had the rose in my hair ready to go.
Yeah.
When he left, little Sharon, she remembered because she used to hang out with my dog.
Yeah.
Miss Sharon said, he was hateful. He come in and leave. He said, I remember, said, boy, said he wouldn't be gone no time, said they be sharp and gone in that car party. Yeah. I said, Chama, you better stay home. I said, you better stay.
Yeah.
And Maurice got doing the other that way. He come down there crying on Daddy. Every time I ever run around, I can't do no with it. Daddy looked at him and said, you know, Maurice, if you stay at home, Ella stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
Come down that shit no more.
They didn't consider what they was doing to create the atmosphere that y'all was doing.
Telling and talking about it, but they didn't care. Everybody talking about you. See, you always go on the clubs and go on the parties with your sisters. Everybody talking about you in the road running, calling you whores and bitches. I said, well, you tell that bitch you got the best damn bitch.
Oh, Lord, that's a good one.
If I ever
Let them talk.
Here's a hoe, she the best hoe I got.
Let them talk, because you know the truth about you, Granny.
Yeah, I know I wasn't laying on nobody. Everybody else knew it.
Yeah.